What's up, everyone? I'm a few minutes late. Sorry about that. Hi, Amy. Yeah, sorry about that. A few minutes late. The day's kind of run away. I don't really know what happened. I'm pretty sure it was like 6 in the morning, and then maybe it was 9, and now it's 3:11. So I don't know. Okay, so for today, yeah, what we're gonna talk about is one of my favorite topics and something that I say a lot, and I'm going to continue to say a lot, and that is this idea that one size fits all, right? That theory, that idea, is a complete and total fucking lie, right? Yes, Jen, Kitty. That's Turtle, by the way. We did not name her Turtle. That's the name she came with, and my husband felt very strongly about keeping that name for her, so it's Turtle. Anyway, so one size fits all. Total lie. It's total and utter bullshit, right? And that is so, so, so crucial and important for us to grab a hold of as entrepreneurs because, especially when you're starting, right? Because I know I was this way, and I would be shocked if you weren't as well, but maybe you weren't. But for the majority of us, it was just so overwhelming at first. One, when you decide to start a business, that's great. No one hands you a manual, which is something I'm working on, by the way. But nobody hands you a manual and says, cool, now so you want to start your own business, do these things, do them, and this is the priority or whatever. So you're already overwhelmed like the second you make that decision. And then on top of that, as you start to talk to people Google, whatever, follow someone, an influencer or a coach or whatever on a social media platform, what you also find really quickly is that you're going to get a million different answers, and magically each one of them is the right way. Okay. um this is, if you want to 3x 5x 10x your prices, you need to do this. If you don't want to leave money on the table, you should stop doing this. And really quickly, as a side note, I'm getting to the point where I try really hard not to live. Sorry, I'm like adjusting. My chair's not moving. Sorry. I try really hard not to live my life in absolutes. But I feel pretty strongly that this is accurate for the majority of programs that say this. The second that a program says 3x, 10x, 5x your prices, that instantaneously sends up a red flag for me, because it's not that I question whether or not it did it for that person, but that worked for that individual. And if you want to give a class on, this is something I did and it worked really well for me, and actually it got me these results, so I'd love to share it with you, and maybe it'll work for you. Like that, I'm so much more likely to get on board with that than if you tell me that it worked for you, so if I do that exact same thing, it's going to work for me. And that's just, y'all, it could not be further from the truth. um and if you think about it, when we actually like dismantle that, it makes less and less sense, and we question why we ever believed it in the beginning. And what I mean by that is, how can one size possibly fit all? How is that even possible? We are all different individuals. Yes, I do believe we are all unique little snowflakes, but in all seriousness, so if we're all completely unique individuals, that then stands to reason that our businesses are going to be completely unique, because we're the ones running it, and a lot of times we are our business. Are our business. That's hard to say back to back. So it just stands to reason that every business is going to be different, or at the very least it should be. And we don't need another business that does the exact same thing as the 12 others that came before it, right? And if I jump back on some of the branding stuff that we've talked about in the past, then the authenticity piece, everyone's not your people. So you need to do things differently, because there are people that need what you're going to do the way you're going to do it, that haven't been able to find that solution otherwise. So then again, logic tells us that one size could not possibly fit all, because there's no way you're doing the exact same things as somebody else, right? Now, I'm going to back up and say, I'm not saying that because someone says this is the way to do it, I'm not saying that method can't or won't work. What I am saying is that you should not latch onto it and become attached to it as the only way, right? That's where it can get dangerous for us business wise. Um, so sorry, my brain was working a lot faster in my mouth there. Had to take a slight pause. You do need systems and processes, okay? One of the things I talk to my clients a lot about, especially my clients that are newer entrepreneurs, is that when we get the idea to start a business and it's actually happening, well, what do we all want to do? Naturally, we want to focus on the work we want to do, right? We want to focus on creating those products or offers, and we want to focus on getting them out there, and we want to focus on bringing value to people so people are hiring or booking us or buying from us. That's a totally normal, totally valid. But there's some of the quote unsexy work that has to be done first. We have to lay the right foundations and we need to get the right systems and processes into place. It doesn't mean that you can't be successful without those. That's not an impossibility. What it does mean though is that there's a really good stinking chance that it's going to take you a lot longer. It's going to be more exhausting. Yeah, and that it might cost you more work in the long run because when you have to go back and try to implement systems and processes when they haven't been in place prior, it causes a lot of other, it's like you can't just insert a new cog in a machine and expect everything to work. You have to make room for it, and all the grooves have to fit in properly, and so it can just be extra work. And you really do need systems and processes, right? Again, doesn't mean if you don't have them, it's impossible for you to be successful or make money or serve people. It just means you're making more work on yourself than you really need to. But the thing is that those systems and processes need to be aligned to what's authentic to you, what's authentic to your business, and thereby what's authentic to your people, right? And one of the examples I always use is, and there is no right or wrong. I really don't believe that. And I'll give you several perfect examples. I hate MailChimp. Hate it. Hate. It doesn't work for me. And what I mean is, I don't mean the system doesn't do what it says it's going to do, because it absolutely does. I mean, for what, like we all have different ways of learning. And so if you set up 4 or 5 different email campaign systems, I guarantee you they're all going to be a little bit different in the user interface and experience and in what's intuitive to you. So one of them is going to logically make sense to you, and there's going to be others that make no sense, right? Doesn't mean those systems are wrong. It means they're not right for you. There's also another individual that I very, very, very much respect in the online space, and is just really brilliant with systems and processes. And his name's Kevin. He's super phenomenal. I trust him and admire him greatly. And when I was looking for like an all-in-one system, which I just gave up, but that's a whole nother story. One of the ones he recommended to me was Ontraport. And I really do like Ontraport a lot. It's a great system, big learning curve, but that's pretty normal. But what I discovered as a coach is there were a couple of other programs like a scheduling app and a client, kind of a client management system that are just geared so perfectly for coaches that they made sense for me to use those. So this one big powerful system, it didn't make any sense for me anymore. And the reason I'm getting to all this is Ontraport is like his bread and butter, and he knows more about that system than probably people that work for Ontraport do. I use for my clients, my one-on-one clients, and my mastermind as well, I use a program called Basecamp. I was introduced to it through my coach, and I really love the way that it works because it helps me segment everything and keep it separate, and it doesn't get lost in the shuffle of email or Facebook messages or whatever. Kevin hates Basecamp. He hates it. It doesn't work for him. He used it with project management, didn't like anything about it. I love it. Yeah. Another great example is that, I had a previous coach that was very, very big on the sliding into DMs strategy. She's brilliant at it, by the way. She does it extremely well. And I think that because she's a coach, that lends itself to her, right? She very much wanted me to really get comfortable with that. And when my focus was on brand strategy and creative design, it just felt so gross to me, and no amount of mindset work would change that. And I think it's because, I don't think I know this, when I'm able to step outside and look back on that now, if I'm a coach and I get into your DMs and I'm like, hey, do you think you could benefit from my services? And you say no, okay, no harm, no foul, nobody's feelings got hurt, let's move on with our lives. But let's reverse that. How do you feel if I slide into your DMs and I go, hey, would you like some help with your branding and your website? Or, you know what, I was looking at your stuff and I see a few things that could be tweaked. Would you like some help with that? I know some people go, yeah, but that automatically makes me go, ugh. Because if someone did that to me, my gut reaction, right, wrong, or indifferent, is, the fuck is wrong with my branding? So it didn't work for me and it didn't feel authentic. And I could have forced it and I did try a little bit, but y'all, when stuff doesn't feel authentic and aligned and you do it anyway, the truth will out, yeah? That strategy is never going to work to you to its fullest potential if it's not authentic and aligned, because you can't force that energy. And so it gets out there and it's just not good. Okay? You have to find what works for you. Now, there are a couple hard and fast rules, right? Like if I have a client that comes to me and says, okay, listen, here's the deal, Stephanie. I've been doing this DM thing. It feels really authentic. It feels really gross, and I don't like it. Okay, cool. Let's find what does work for you. If you're like, here's another one. I don't want to do Instagram stories. You know what? I don't. I'm still here. I'm still booking clients and having a profitable business, right? Reverse side of that. If you come to me and say, you know, Stephanie, I just really feel like having a contract is just not authentic to me. Oh, my sweet summer child. No, you need a contract, right? Because those are the things that protect you. But minus a few of those exceptions, by and large, you guys, you really can do things your way and what's authentic and aligned to you. And the beautiful part is, the more you start to embrace that, the more successful you're going to become. That's actually the secret sauce, right? To actually having a profitable and successful business, it's finding what's authentic and aligned for you, right? Yes, there's mindset work that needs to be done, getting that clarity, and then taking what a lot of people refer to as the woo, and I know a lot don't like that term, but we all know what we're talking about when I say it. So taking the woo and combining it with the practical, which is what I do as a coach, right? Because all that's great, but all the mindset and authenticity and alignment and clarity in the world is not going to make up for not having the right business foundations when you start, or implementing them when you realize you don't have them, and not having the systems and processes in place. You need both, and they need to cross over to each other, right? Your alignment and what's authentic to you needs to inform your systems and processes and your strategy. And your strategy and your business foundations need to therefore feed into what's authentic and cooperate with that alignment and lead things down that path. Yeah. So a little bit of a short live today. I just wanted to pop in real quick. But just to reemphasize, just over and over and over again, there is no one size fits all solution, right? That's a flat lie. And if you ever run into a strategy, a process, and anything like that, and someone tells you this is the way to do it, run away. And that's even doubly true if that person is a coach. Okay? Not trying to throw shade, not trying to ruin anybody's livelihood. But if you're ever looking at working with a coach, or you are working with a coach, and they say, well, this is the way that it needs to be done, Monty Python, run away. Yeah, because that's just not true. It just ain't true, friends. Yeah. You get to pick what works for you and what's in alignment for you and what's right for you. And the more and more you lean into that, the more and more things click within your business, the easier it becomes, the less resistance you have. And the more you get to go, it's that click, right? And you're like, oh, this is it. So that's definitely what I hope and what I wish for you. So remember, there is no one size fits all. So figure out what works for you. If you ever have questions on that, or you think maybe you need a little bit of support, a little bit of help, a little bit of guidance, I would love to help you with that. I post about it all the time, but I do have free 30-minute coaching calls. So that's 30 minutes of laser focused coaching on whatever you feel needs the most attention in your business right now. And it's all free. So, and I genuinely love doing it. So I will drop the link to that in the comments. If you have any questions, feel free to pop in here and ask those questions. If you're watching the replay, hashtag replay it. I should have said that in the beginning, but that's okay. And then definitely, yeah, book that free coaching call. And let's get rolling. Let's get some stuff done. All right. Hope everyone has a fabulous rest of your week, and I will talk to you later. Turtle's very feminine, and I guess she says bye. Sorry about that.